Mm-hmm. Hang on, let me adjust the audio. There, that should be better. If you're in the room, give me a sound check. It's January 3rd, 2022, 9:15 in the morning. And I thought I'd start the year off right for you and give you the 6 foundational principles. Oh, hell. Hang on. I'll put them on ignore for the moment. Thought I'd give you the 6 foundational principles which characterize all good marketing and good advertising. Okay, they're just foundational principles that they apply to every business in every economy. Whether you're a shoemaker or a bread maker or a plumber or SaaS, software as service provider, or a manufacturer. Anyway, so here's they are. Here's the 6 foundational principles. Number 1, all good selling is serving. You better write these down, because these 6 ideas will make you a boatload of money. And nothing else will make you a boatload of money. Now, we could say that, if you go in the wrong direction, no, actually, I'm going to stick with this, that these 6 things will make you a boatload of money because they cover everything, including proper timing and proper thinking about matters, okay? All good selling is serving. Now, that is a big concept. It sounds unarguable. I mean, who would come along and argue against all good selling is serving? But it needs to be plumbed. The thought needs to be plumbed. And nobody gets out of here without selling, right? And so what does serving mean? There are various kinds of serving. And in the broad brushstroke type of thing that I continually promote in my years as a marketing consultant and advertising copywriter, a lot of serving can be done with oodles of information. But there are other types of serving that you wouldn't exactly understand it to be oodles of information. Like in the old days, these guys would walk around from door to door. They were called fuller brush salesmen, right? And they would give a brush, some type of brush, to every woman who answered the door. And that was a kind of serving. All good selling is serving. So they would give a free brush away to every woman to introduce the Fuller Brush Company. And they made all kinds of brushes. Probably brooms too, and mops. I don't know exactly. But they made hair brushes and brushes, I guess, for dogs and cats, and maybe toothbrushes. But they were the Fuller Brush Company, and they would give away a free brush. And it was partially based on the idea of reciprocity. If you scratch my back, I'll scratch yours. And so if you get a free brush from the guy who just knocked on your door, then you feel a little bit obligated to sit there and listen to his pitch. And the pitch can go on for 5, 10, 15 minutes, enough to get you interested in looking at the other brushes available. Anyway, so all good selling is serving, and serving, um, in this case, in which I'm going to argue with these 6 things, is a large amount of information to be delivered to the potential customer. And in the case of the puller brush guy, he was delivering information in the form of, hold this brush in your hand and see how delicious it feels. It's made of wood and plastic and horsehair or whatever the heck it was made of. It was tactile. It was information. It was useful. Anyway, all good selling is serving. That's number 1. Write it down. Number 2 is people buy only to get benefits. People buy only to get benefits. And this should correct you, should guide your marketing plan, marketing structure, marketing thinking, this number 2 item here. Because there are a lot of sellers out there, like your competitors, who think that they have no input into the selling process. And so they just hang up a shingle that basically says, I'm not here, slide your money under the door. People buy only to get benefits. So what exactly are benefits? You have to determine this in your own mind. There are a whole lot of benefits out there in the world that are not obvious. Like if you buy a drill bit, the real benefit is you get a hole in the wall or a hole in the door so you can put in a peephole. The benefit of a drill bit is not in just having the bit, it's in what the bit can do for you. The benefit of a bucket of paint is the beauty that it will add to your wall or your car or your house or whatever it is you're going to paint. Beauty is the benefit. Paint is the product itself, the feature. Anyway, so you have to address this question. What are the benefits of whatever it is I'm selling? They could be anywhere from saving money to avoiding ills in the future to gaining wealth and prosperity and a great sex life, or making the neighbors, the Joneses, envious of you. There's all kind of benefits out there. And if you don't know what benefits you're offering, you're in trouble. So it would behoove you, no matter what business you're in, to make a list of the benefits people get when they get excitedly involved with your product or service. So that's what you're selling. Number 1, all good selling is serving. Number 2, people buy only to get benefits. Number 3, benefits always sound hollow and bullshitty without product facts to back up the benefits, because we want believability. And you can promise, that if you buy this bottle of pills, it'll make you live an extra 95 years. But this just sounds hollow and unbelievable. Or if you buy this get-rich-quick scheme, you'll make $1 million a second. Well, benefits sound hollow and unbelievable without product facts to back them up. So you will also need to be thoroughly acquainted with the facts of your product, and you'll need, upon occasion, to make your potential buyers acquainted with these facts as well, in light of the benefits that they are going to get. Number 4, people will not read long-winded ads. Let's get that straight. Put that out of your mind right away. Or, people will not read long-winded ads, but prospects will read long-winded ads, and prospects demand long-winded ads because they have money at stake. And if you're a prospect for a safari trip to Africa, you got 1,000 questions. Can I bring my wife? Can I bring my kids? Will I see lions? Do I need mosquito repellent? Do I need to bring a sleeping bag? What about my mistress? Do I need insurance? Prospects have questions because they've got skin in the game. They're going to buy this crap that you're selling. And so prospects will read a long-winded ad and a long-winded series of ads, perhaps, as long as it's interesting and helpful. See, that's your 2 primary jobs in creating the marketing plan, is to make it interesting and helpful. Because people will not read long-winded ads, but prospects will. As long as it's interesting and helpful. Okay. So that was, let's see, number 1 was all good selling is serving. Number 2, people buy only to get benefits. Number 3, benefits sound hollow without product points to back them up. Number 4, prospects will read long-winded ads, but people will not, and you're only advertising to prospects, really. So let's go to number 5. Number 5 is there must be proper planning and proper timing if you're going to make the maximum amount of money with your effort. Proper planning and proper timing. Now, I don't know what this would mean to you in your situation. Planning could mean sitting down at the beginning of the year, here it is January, and making a calendar of all the holidays and making sure you're going to have a sale on all the holidays. St. Patrick's Day, Valentine's Day, Independence Day, 4th of July, George Washington's birthday, International Ice Skaters Day, whatever. But you need to be paying attention to proper planning and proper timing in order to stay on top of this, because most businesses don't succeed if they have an attitude of, winging it, doing whatever I feel like at the moment I feel like it. That's not going to win the competition marketing pile of cash out there. Proper planning and proper timing. It might mean that let's say you're in a city and your customers, let's say you're in a large city that has a lot of government employees, at the military base or the airport or whatever, and that these guys get paid on the 15th of the month and the 30th of the month. Well, your proper planning and proper timing might include the idea of advertising on their payday, because that's when they have the money and the possibility of having discretional spending to send it your way. That's what it might mean, proper planning and proper timing. Maybe you hear about a new government law that's coming down the pike, and it will affect everyone in your industry. And it's not widely known, but it is a true thing that it is coming down, and it'll take effect on the 15th of the month in 3 months, right? Well, is there anything you can do to take advantage of this information and prepare yourself, get in a position to where this new law coming down the pike can steer money into your direction, get your customers moving in the right direction, making a choice that would include buying from you or not punishing you for being ahead of the law, whatever, Anyway, so it could go in a lot of different directions, this proper planning and proper timing thing. You'll have to figure that out on your own, unless you want to call me and we'll figure it out together. And then, item number 6 of the 6 scientific foundational principles of all good selling and marketing. Number 6 is top management. Top management must be on board with these ideas or profits will suffer. So if top management argues with these 6 ideas, you're not going to get very far. All good selling is serving. People buy only to get benefits. Benefits sound hollow without product points to back them up. People will not read long-winded ads, but prospects will. There must be proper planning and proper timing. And finally, all those yahoos at the top, vice president, director of this, they have to be on board with these ideas or they'll fight the ideas along the way. And your profits will suffer. Okay, on to the next phase. I promised you that we'd come up with some ideas in the title of this one. Selling ideas from some real estate ads. So here's what I'll go through next. It's a book that is not incredibly popular, but it is a book that is fascinating for its potential to help you think things through in your own marketing little universe. And we have to face the truth that there really are no one-size-fits-all programs out there, unless you're going to buy a franchise. But in most businesses and most marketing situations, you got to think your way through, because there's a lot of factors that go into things, whether the factors are where is the marketplace right now as far as their awareness, where is the winds blowing, what ideas are affecting my market, But this little book is called BROTHEL in PIMLICO. Let's see if I can get the better light on there. And it's a book of real estate ads that Roy Brooks ran in the 1960s in London. And I thought you'd get a kick out of some of the reading in here, because Roy Brooks understood the 6 things I just told you. All good selling is serving. So he ran these very interesting ads in the 1960s in the London newspaper. The ads were selling real estate, but the ads did not do the minimum. And what's the minimum? Well, the minimum is you put an ad in the newspaper and it says 4-bedroom house, 2-bath, quarter-acre yard in such and such neighborhood, and then the price. That's the minimum. He did not do the minimum. He understood that all good selling is serving. All of his ads were story appeal ads. He would tell a story. So apparently, one of the houses that he sold a long time ago used to be a brothel. So he wrote the ad that said brothel in PIMLICO for sale. So he wrote story appeal ads, and of course, sometimes the story is that the house is a mess, and if you buy it, it's a fixer-upper, and so here's, bring your tools with you. And sometimes the story is, the house is in a prestigious neighborhood with the best schools. Anyway, sometimes the story is that the house is right next to the freeway in case you wanted to get on the freeway and get to town pretty fast, or get to the airport pretty fast, or whatever the story is, see. But all good selling is serving. People buy only for benefits, and what is the benefit to this house as opposed to that house? Benefits sound hollow without product points to back them up. And what are the product points to back them up? Well, it's not just that you're selling 4 bedrooms and 2 baths. You've got to help them see why 4 bedrooms are important. What do 4 bedrooms mean? This house with 4 bedrooms could be ideal if you want to start a bed and breakfast, if you're just a couple with no children. But if you have 4 children or 8 children, you can make them double up. Anyway, so you've got to help people see the benefits and believe the benefits and tell the full story. Anyway, this guy ran an ad every Sunday in the London newspaper, and every Sunday, people got into the habit of, whether they admit it or not, they got into the habit of buying the damn paper just to read his ads. Some people did anyway. And of course, his ads were so interesting that it had the knock-on effect of making people talk about the damn ad. And if they talked about it with their neighbor or their coworkers, well, then he got even more money for his advertising efforts, more return on investment. Because if you just run a boring ad that says 4 bedroom, 2 bath, Cape Cod split level with a lawn that needs mowing, then it's boring and not memorable, and you won't get everybody talking about it. But he got everyone talking about his ads because they were interesting and helpful. Interesting and helpful. Remember those 2 things. Anyway, so let me read to you some of the stuff in here that would explain why. You might want to get this book. Probably on Amazon you can find it. Brothel in PIMLICO by Roy Brooks. Okay, Roy Brooks was an eminent real estate agent. He was an eminent real estate agent who became a national figure, mostly for one enduring reason: because of the puckish delight he took in telling the truth, the whole truth, and even the unwholesome truth. In a trade known for its euphemisms and optimistic cliches and skillful literary camouflage, he won the delightful applause of property buying and advertisement reading public. He died in 1971, leaving behind an extraordinary collection of advertisements. His honesty and impudent originality were surprisingly, perhaps rarely, offensive. He walked his editorial tightrope with a natural flair and disarming humor. He espoused causes and advocated charities and benefited both. He brought a nationwide following to the Sunday Times and the Observer. 2 different papers, huh? And readers who seem no less attracted to his political and social homilies than to his scathing and acid descriptions of his property. And the above was taken from the introduction by David Wilcox to the original edition of this book. And it says below it, Roy Brooks' advertisements were originally presented in two slim volumes called The Brothel in Pimlico and Mud, Straw, and Insults, both of which are long out of print. The present volume contains the best of both. Okay. And so here, apparently, he ran the classified ads with pictures sometimes. And the point of the ads is to get buyers. And how do you get buyers for your real estate? Well, you don't just do the minimum. And this guy did not do the minimum. Oh, by the way, I remember having an ad. Let's see, who did the ad? It was some guy who lived in Arkansas, Hot Springs, Arkansas. He was a marketer. I studied his material years ago. So way back in the late 80s. What was the guy's name? I think he went on to move down to South America somewhere. Anyway, so he had this spread house on a larger piece of real estate. And he ran a long-winded ad and showed no picture. He ran it in the real estate magazine of Hot Springs, Arkansas. Showed no picture of his house. He just described everything. And since Hot Springs, Arkansas is kind of famous for having quartz crystals all around that area, I think that was his headline, had something to do with quartz crystals. But he had 1,000 words in his ad. And he put it in a magazine, in a real estate magazine, that all his competition, right? All of his competitors selling real estate had a picture, a small description, and a price. A picture, a small description, and a price, and a picture, a small description, and a price. And he had no picture, but only reading material, 1,000 words worth. And he sold his house in 4 days flat. I think that was the story. And he had like 200 phone calls, inquiries about the matter within 4 days. And likely sold it for too little because he had the attention of the public, because you can do more with words than you can with pictures. They say a picture's worth 1,000 words, but in the advertising world, 1,000 words can give you 5,000 pictures. So, the right words do the magic. Anyway, so I'm looking through here, and let's see if I can get it right here. And he's got all these ads selling real estate. Let me see if I can find one that is that matches the title. And it looks like this might be the ad right here. Dearest Pimlico, seedy family house, 2 rooms in basement ground, first and second floors, and attic room on the third. Decor peeling, faded, and flown by. Garden good for Winchester. All 20 feet. Lease 80 years. GR 60 pounds PA. I don't know what that means. 6,950 pounds. If you are too late to secure this gem, we have a spare along the road, rather more derelict. A lightly built member of our staff negotiated the basement stair, but our Mr. Halstead went crashing through. Opulent 18th century setting, fashionable Islington, newly built, sunny second floor luxury flat, looking out over the lovely ancient trees and remnants of the original inhabitants quietly fishing in the canal, which peacefully meanders through the tended gardens of the well-preserved, well-heeled intellectual's neighborhood property. Balcony, 25 feet, drawing room, 2 bedrooms, 2 modern bathrooms, well-fit kit. Lease 90 years, GR 45 pounds, 8,500 pounds. Even try offer. Okay, so I guess now keep in mind this was written in the 1960s and in England, so the grammar, the vocabulary, you might not understand what the hell's going on, but they did. Here's one that might be interesting. Looks like a doctor cutting on a cake. Let's see what it says. Surgeon's flat in fashionable 1958 neo-Gregorian block where persons of title mingle democratically with the mediocres. Home of the brilliant Brundle, the knife, obtainable in stainless steel, double-bladed and equally adaptable for icing the cake or biopsy. With delightful disregard for cash, he's refused to patent it. In the interest of humanity, lots of sun and near health, 3 double bedrooms, drawing room, a modern tiled bath, large kit, lovely gardens, garage, Blackheath loss in Bradford's gain. Blackheath's loss is Bradford's gain. He's going to Paris of the North and must sell only 4,950 pounds. Lease 98 years. GR only 18 pounds. Yeah, it's a little bit stilted, but you get the idea. Our grammar and vocabulary has just gone downhill since the 1960s. We might be able to argue that they were smarter at that time. But people around today are arguing that IQ is not important. And we'll suffer for that, I gather. Okay, let's see if I can find something else here. Here's one with a drawing. Now, I don't know if these drawings originally appeared in the newspaper or if they were supplemented for the book itself. I wouldn't be surprised if he didn't put them in the newspaper as well to call out his work as opposed to all his competitors who are also selling real estate. And you have to know that he sold the real estate and made a lot of commissions for himself. So here's one. Knightbridge bargain. The gracious entrance floor, Madisonite, in exclusive garden square access, luxuriously DEC, in a rather Frenchy manner, by an avant-garde French actor who, turning from the plays of J.P. Satire to plumbing, is now retiring to the south of France and must dispose, albeit at far, far below cost, spacious and lovely drawing room, pale violet carpeting during a dining room, or three bedroom, two other bedrooms, clothes, carpet, bathroom, modest kitchen, costly velvet flock wallpapers. It's a little bit hard to read. Hang on. The garden due in season, a bower of roses, figure of sycamore looks awful at present. Looks awful at present. See? Blatant honesty. It looks awful at present. Least 22 and 3/4 years, only 375 pounds PA, or new 5-year lease at 500 pounds PA. Anyway, so so you're not going to get rich reading this book, but it will stimulate your thinking to see marketing in a new light. That one of your jobs is to attract and hold the maximum amount of the right kind of people while a selling story is told and a desired reaction is induced. And that's what this guy did in spades. Okay, let me read to you at the end of the book. It says, Roy Brooks sold my boat in 1965 for $1,000. There's no way I can describe Amanda. That was the name of his boat, most likely. There's no way I can describe Amanda. She had to be seen. She was a hybrid, an old ship's lifeboat, which had been built up in the most primitive way. A few years later, she went down with all hands on a milk bottle. She used to settle on the mud, and on this occasion, a milk bottle holed her. There was no attempt to refloat her. She was just towed away. And that was by David Owen. Thinking of Roy, I remember first a mustache, and behind it an air of friendly amusement, a candor without malice. His advertisements made our Sundays in the 50s and 60s a sun-dappled clearing in the hideous thickets of real estate agents' prose. That's pretty cool. Next guy says, I can think of no better reminder of the power and force of Roy Brooks' personality than to reread the advertising style with which he tackled the boniness of his own profession. What's more, the property buying and selling public endorsed him over and over again, welcoming him as a thirst-crazed stranger in a desert might welcome the sight of an oasis. In a profession gilded with euphemisms and literary manipulations, actually the cover-up for deceit and lies, Roy Brooks told the truth, spoke outrageously, and grew successful because of it. Other estate agents, elegant and languid or urgent and hustling, must have hated him. Reading his advertisements as one would read a jolly postcard for impudent friends who always give you the unvarnished facts in an amusing manner. That was by Desmond Wilcox. The next one says, Roy Brooks was to real estate dealing what Gerald Hoffnung was to music. Unique and thus irreplaceable. For me, Roy's column was as much a part of London as Bernie Levin's taper reviews on the House of Commons debates to The Spectator. The Spectator was some type of political magazine. Next, that was by Humphrey Burton. And this one is a long one from Alan Wicker. It says, back from Korea in the 50s, when foreign correspondents were facing intimidation of morality as a fading breed, I met Roy Brooks while doing a BBC radio program about property, real estate property. He was already a London character and instantly likable. Afterwards, I spent many agreeable evenings in the surprisingly grotty garden basement flat in Gledhow Gardens, SW5, suit shambolic family, where he and Barbara daily fed and watered a varied gathering of people around town. Indeed, one air clean November night, when the fog had come down, I slept on his sitting room floor along with a Hollywood heartthrob and a bit actor soon to be famous as Steptoe, while Barbara went into her mother hen routine. Roy was a life enhancer with an enthusiasm for all the right things, an outspoken outrage at what he believed wrong. We shared a passion for Bentleys, and he stopped me buying a coach-built one that was cheap but somehow not quite right. It worries you now. It'll annoy you more every time you see it. I read that wrong. If it worries you now, it'll annoy you more every time you see it. As the years progressed, they moved up to a modern all-glass country home, an all-glass country home creation in the Thames Valley. I often wondered how he might have described it. This was where I saw him last. He seemed more at home amid the Kensington chaos. I never bought a property from Roy, but with that charm and easy laughter, he would have been a hard man to resist. Yes, I remember him well. And the next one is from Desmond Morris. One of the minor delights of the 1960s was turning to Roy Brooks' houses for sale advertisements each week. Amazingly large numbers of readers did this, even when they were not in the market for a new home themselves, which just goes to show you that with a little humor and imagination, normally humdrum routine business transactions can be turned into entertaining diversions. Sadly, there are too few Roy Brooks about in commerce today. Okay, are you catching on here? And that was the end of the testimonial section. Anyway, so I would recommend this book, not because you're going to learn everything about marketing from the book, but you will learn a couple of important things, and that is that you cannot bore people into buying from you. If you take a prospect to lunch and you're buying his lunch, he will listen to your boring presentation. But when he's in his living room looking at his own computer, trying to make up his mind about the situation, you cannot bore him into buying from you in that situation. You've got to present your selling story in a way that holds his interest and is helpful to him. As long as it's interesting and helpful to him, you got him. Okay. All right, so I wanted to do one more thing. I want to read something I found in my old material I wrote this a while ago, so let's see if it still makes sense. And the headline is, if you didn't make all the money you wanted last year, here's why. So let's see if this makes sense to you and to me, because I wrote it a while ago. So let's see. There are basically 6 reasons marketers don't make money or don't make as much money as they should. Go over these 6 reasons, take some notes, and if you want help defeating those profit killers, these profit killers call me. As a consultant, I will guide you into greater sales and profits in the coming year. Number 1, no planning, no timing. For too many companies and entrepreneurs, they wing it. They wait around for a new idea, and the new ideas don't necessarily mesh with the marketing plan. What? You don't have a marketing plan? Planning is vital for success. Planning explores what your strengths and weaknesses are. Planning looks at opportunities and threats. Planning takes advantage of upcoming known events like Christmas and the 4th of July. Planning lets you know if you're winning or behind schedule. Planning measures your success in sales and profits and losses and liabilities. Planning demands parallel thinking, not just linear thinking. Parallel thinking solves problems before they show up. Linear thinking solves one problem at a time as it shows up. Wow, that's pretty good. I forgot how old this is, but I wrote it some time ago and it still seems applicable. Number 2, the honey principle kills your profits. Ooh, what's this? If you're going to make maximum profits in minimum time, you've got to have everyone in management on board with the right principles. Over the years, I've been hired to create new marketing campaigns for a client. After I do my research, creative thinking, concept development, consulting, etc., maybe a month's worth of work, I turn in the ad or sales letter or website design, and the client says, "Wow, that's great. I'll call you in the morning." Then the client goes home and shows the wife the marketing piece and says, "Honey, how do you like it?" And the honey says, "Ew, it's too salesy," or some such. So she is the honey principle. She kills the project. And again, if you're going to make the kind of profits you want, you've got to have everyone on board with the principles, and everyone has to understand the marketing principles of great profits. Number 3, you did not serve because all good selling is serving. There is a great misconception about selling. Too many folks think that selling is pushing something no one wants to buy. Wow. Too many folks think that selling is pushing something no one wants to buy. But no, it does not work that way. People only buy what they truly want. A good salesman merely discovers what you want. A good business is merely a marketing machine designed to discover what you want and deliver it to you. Serving that results in sales could take many forms. Service goes the second mile. Service means giving the buyer the right kind of information so they can confidently buy what it is you're selling. You see, most sales don't happen because the buyer cannot justify the purchase in their own mind. They need reasons. They need reasons to justify the purchase to their spouse, their neighbor, their boss, themselves. Fritos potato chips serves because they are restocked every day. Service could be the lowest price. Service could be the best quality. You've got to convince them that this is the best, longest lasting quality product. Number 4, you forgot to sell benefits. Far too many marketers try to sell features. They try to sell features, but no one buys features. That's true. No one buys features. They buy benefits. Paint is a feature, but beauty is a benefit. Thick steel is a feature, but safety is a benefit. A big car engine is a feature, but quick pickup and speed and power are benefits. A small, lightweight engine is a feature, but good gas mileage is a benefit. You cannot leave it up to them to figure out the benefits. Sell them what benefits they are getting. Take Macy's department store. They spend big bucks in a multi-page newspaper advertising and show photos of clothing, and the only benefit? The price. But folks, don't just buy based on price. What, dear Macy's, are some of the other benefits of this or that article of clothing? If you want to outsell Macy's department stores, sell more benefits than they do. You can tell I wrote this a long time ago. I don't even know if Macy's is still in existence. And if they are, it's a miracle. Number 5. These are the reasons why you didn't make money last year. Number 5. No one believed your benefits. Belief and credibility are powerful concepts in advertising and marketing. Even if you're shouting your benefits in your marketing, it will sound hollow and empty unless you have product features, proof, and the backstory, which make the benefits to be gained believable. Yes, you must proclaim the benefits your product or service will deliver, but those benefits must have the right features, proving that the benefits will be gained. And number 6, you believe that old adage that people will not read long-winded ads. If you buy that old adage, you'll lose money. Why? Because it may be true that people will not read long ads, but get this. Prospects will read long ads. And that is the only one you're advertising to anyway, right? Want proof? If you're a prospect for a safari trip to Africa, I already told you this earlier in this broadcast, you have 1,000 questions. If you have questions about costs, lions, sleeping accommodations, travel, and more. And it turns out that prospects will read any amount of advertising copy as long as it's interesting and helpful. And that's it. Remember that your profits start with proper planning and proper timing. Call me and say thank you. And let me say thank you in advance for giving me the opportunity to contribute to your ongoing success. There's my phone number and email. If you get a kick out of this, you can say hello. And that's it. I'll wind it up. Thanks for watching this little episode of my marketing musings. There you have it. The end. Exit stage right.